Welcome. Okay, we have a small party here, which I'm super excited about. What else would we do on a Tuesday morning? Okay, I'm here with Dorothy Rogers-Bullis and Dan Bullis and Elizabeth LaPierre.
Yes.
Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a combo of Saratoga CoWorks and wait, tell me your
Business Interiors.
DRB
Business Interiors.
Yeah. Okay, and I will put in the show notes, you've been on the show before, so you're a repeat. We were talking about your bulk built walls. Yeah, super fun. Okay, so, but we have to start with Dan recently did the Kona Ironman, right?
Yes, I did.
A big deal. Okay, so tell us.
So it was the hardest race I've ever done in my entire life.
Okay. I feel like the last time I saw you, you just done the easiest race you'd ever done, and you were on the podium. You were having a burger. Okay. And then
Alcatraz.
And I was Alcatraz.
I know you wouldn't think Alcatraz would be the easiest. I mean, you could get eaten by a shark.
Well, you could get eaten by a shark and Kona too.
Okay, you didn't. So that's good.
No, I didn't.
Okay, give us some highlights.
I did get stung by jellyfish.
At the start.
Right when I dove in. Yeah.
Oh no.
It was
Yeah.
horrible.
I have these sting marks all over my butt.
Still.
Multiple. Did you know what it was?
After 9 days. Yeah.
So,
His arms were swollen when he got out, but that was, 12 hours later. But he still had to bike. First of all, swim 2.4 miles, then bike 112, and then do a marathon.
Right.
And his arms were still really bad when he finished that night.
But it was a nice swim. It wasn't a crowded swim. Like a lot of times you get into these things and it's just so many different people.
Yeah. You're worried about
all
getting
over the place.
And yeah.
And this was, kind of they staggered the start. So it was really good in that regard. But I got out. I came in 5th in the swim in my age group.
Even after getting stung by jellyfish.
Yeah.
Did others get stung or were you like,
Yeah,
we were sitting there in the water and the guy next to me goes, is anybody else getting stung?
Oh no.
Yeah. So I don't know how many people, but I certainly, right when I dove in, I got stung on my face and my arms. It was crazy.
Wow. Had you ever been stung by a jellyfish before?
No.
I have. It's terrible.
Okay. Yeah, I have not, but I'm kind of a sissy about the idea of it. Yeah. Anytime there might be jellyfish, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going in.
Have you ever poison ivy?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the same.
It's sort of crazy. I know. How does one grow up in upstate New York and play in the woods?
I don't
and
know.
have poison ivy? Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't you live on a farm?
Yeah.
I did live on a farm. I know. I think we were just careful about it. My brother did walk into a bee's nest like in the barn one time, and that was maybe similar. Not good. Yeah. Okay.
So he survived. He did well.
I did. Then I got on the bike. I did the best bike I've ever done. 72 people in my age group beat me. So I'm like, okay. So
but
and you don't know what's going on. So
2,400 people in the whole race.
Yeah,
that's a lot. Yeah.
So then I got into the run. I was fine under the tent, getting ready. I go out, and it's I don't know. I think it was 82 degrees, and I have 100% humidity.
Oh,
it was devastating.
Oh boy!
And I started running. I was thinking I'd be going 30 miles. I was doing 9-minute miles to start. And then by the time I was done, I averaged 11-minute miles.
Oh boy. Yeah. Not the plan. Yeah.
No, not the plan. I wanted to be home for cocktail hour and I wasn't home.
He was an hour late. But that's not bad.
Like drink time. Come on, Dan.
Yeah. My liver's like, Dan, you got to get up. Come on.
No, it was pretty exciting, actually.
So I ended up 60th place. So,
okay, nice.
Out of a lot of people.
Yeah, this is like the Harvard of races, right? Like
everybody was there.
The best. Yeah.
The Europeans were there. The Japanese, the Koreans, everybody was there. And, the guys that I raced against at Lake Placid that beat me got beat soundly.
Yeah.
By most of these guys.
Yeah.
But it's a very, very impressive race. Glad I got to do it.
Yeah.
But, doing these Ironmans, I always train for the race, but I will never do that again. I will only train for the Ironman in Kona. That's it. Because that's the only one that counts. That's the one that hurts the most.
Yeah.
And if you train for that, you're ready for anything else.
Yeah. Wait, are you going to do it again?
Oh, yeah. If I can.
Oh, Dorothy. I think Dorothy beforehand was like, this is it. We're doing it one time. It's a really big deal. It's a lot of work.
I just got to do it once.
Dan is now calling it his practice.
Okay.
Practice run.
Oh, man. Okay. We're back in the saddle now because no more workouts for Dan for a while.
Yeah, like cute. I got to rest.
Yeah, you got to recover a little bit. The body needs, exactly. Dorothy needs a little bit of downtime from helping with the meal prep and keeping you,
It was fantastic. I couldn't do it without her.
Yeah.
And I'm done.
It's great.
I'm done for.
She's retired, Dan.
Or Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, yeah, it was like a team effort.
The
whole office. Stan is, yeah. But anyway, we're very excited to be here. Thank you for having us.
Let's dive in. Yes. But that's awesome.
We are a small but mighty team, and we invited Elizabeth because, as you know, co-working has many, many ventures to it. There's so many different ways you can have co-working spaces. And us as designers and co-working owners, we're able to really dive in and really make spaces amazing, depending on who the client is, what they want to focus on. Some places want to have co-working healthcare or beauty spaces, right? So we can go in and design those. There's some places that want to have a women-centric place, right? So that we know of those places, right? So you design around who the client is.
Yeah.
And we have some examples of some really cool clients of ours locally. We had, and Elizabeth will show you, we had Make-A-Wish come in and ask us to be in our co-working space, which was, they could have been in an office just alone, but they also wanted to have an opportunity to connect with locals, right? Because Make-A-Wish is a group that relies on donations, right? So they want to be out there and they want to have a public.
They need to make those connections, right?
They do. They need
sense. Yeah,
exactly. So we sat with them, Elizabeth, Dan, and I. We sat with the director, and this was the space that we started with. It's ugly. It used to be.
I was like, okay, I hope this is the before photo. Yes.
That's before. And that was believe it or not, that was a film company that did film, right? So they needed their space really dark. So all the lights were blacked out. And then those 3 windows that you see, they had like pillows stuffed in there. And it was a hot mess.
It
was awful.
Space.
So we sat with Jamie from Make-A-Wish and we gave him some ideas. Like, we asked him, what do you want? And he says, I want a really cool space for kids. It's all about the kids. It's all about the kids. It's all about the kids. So we sat down and Elizabeth was able to do some floor plans, right? We needed to add some light, right? So you go back to those little short windows there. We were able to add full size windows so that the whole space brightened up and was much brighter. Of course, we got rid of the black, and you can see at the top of your screen, that's where the tiny little windows were. And we just added huge windows, right?
Yep.
And we want to keep that sun coming in, the light has to come in. So we did glass walls all the way around. And he also, he wanted to make sure that his employees had their own private space. That was very important to us.
And soundproof space, because they do talk about very sensitive health issues and financial issues.
Yep. Yeah.
And that was important. So those glass offices there are silent, which is
and how do they achieve that? Let's talk about the STC rating.
The STC rating on the walls is a 42, which is much better than drywall. And then glass, most of them are slide doors. In order to get a good a good STC on it, besides that, is you have to fill the gaps. There can't be any holes.
Right.
And so we did that, and then you have to use acrylic glass.
Okay.
Which has an acrylic that gets you up to like 40 STC.
Okay.
So we could have gone higher than that by putting in insulation in the walls.
Yeah.
But we really didn't need to.
That was enough. Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
He, and then we got into the furniture part. He didn't want to, and this is the fun before pictures, right? It looks like a hot mess. And it is.
I love in progress photos though, because this is part of creating any space is what are you trying to achieve? What does the space need to achieve? And then how do you get it there? And this is like the messy middle.
Right. And that's the only sheetrock wall that we put up. See it?
Okay.
That's it. Everything else was our Falk-built product for the offices. But that right there is a little kitchenette that we put in. And they did not want to change the flooring. We suggested carpet tiles, but they wanted to wait and do it right first with their budget. And then I say to them, the client, you can always add carpet tiles later when you have the funds.
Yep.
So
this
here
is
we are.
Space that they lease?
Yes.
Yeah. Got it. Yep.
But it was very important for them to have a space that they didn't have to leave in a couple of years. So they're with us. They're with Saratoga CoWorks for quite some time, which is great.
So they move out of Saratoga CoWorks into their own space. Is that what this project was?
This is actually they were upstairs in our CoWorks that you were in, Jane, and then they moved downstairs into this space.
Okay.
Still using conference rooms, coming to parties, coming to events.
Yeah.
So they're still part of Saratoga CoWorks, but they wanted to be in their own space for privacy. Reasons.
And so they could design it really specifically. And it's obviously a big space. Yeah.
Exactly.
This is a really good model for co-working spaces because companies want to come back to work. They're trying to get their employees back. And what this allows, a co-working space, like we can go and find space somewhere else. It doesn't have to be in our building. And we can give employers that space that they want for 40 employees. Basically have it set up for only 10 people are there at a time.
Yeah.
And they can use our conference rooms and all that stuff all over the city, but they also have their own private space. So it allows them to come back to work in phases, and it allows them to experiment and at a lower price than, I got to get 40 people in the space all at once.
Yeah.
They're not all going to come into the space. So there's no point in doing that. So you do 10 at a time. So we have that. We've done that 2 or 3 times now.
Is that the real sky and those ceiling tiles? What's going on there? Okay. It's like, what is that?
He wanted the kids to feel like they were outside. I mean, it's a little bulky of a space, but it works for the kids. They come in and it's all about them.
I actually think that's kind of a cool way to spice up some ceiling tile.
Right.
Yeah. No, it is a neat
I've never seen that before. That's neat.
Yeah. So then the other thing that's pretty cool is see the offices. He wanted to have sit-to-stand desks, an option for his employees. He told them pick the color of the chair that you wanted, the seat, which was fine.
That's totally fun. Yeah.
Those fun beanbag chairs he wanted in there.
Kids can play on them.
Kids like that.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Grown-ups like that too. I want one of those.
And then, so he was bringing the Vermont, which is in Burlington office, and the Saratoga or Albany office in together. So he wanted to have a mural on that one wall. So we did that. That's Lake Champlain. So that's connecting New York to Vermont by way of
we have to talk about that. That's on the Falk-built walls?
So cool.
It's stunning.
It's really beautiful, isn't it? We can put anything there. We could put your picture up there. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's put Dan on one, not me. Dan on the podium. So
isn't that fun?
You send that? How do you do it? Do you send it to Falk-built and they do it? Or
Yes, they do. Yeah. And they literally could put anything.
Right. So those are on 3 different skins, and all you have to do, say he wanted to do a fall photo versus something blue. He wanted to have some color. We can pull those skins or the faces off, and he can keep those for safekeeping for another time. And then we can add another one in 3 spots on top. It's cool.
Okay.
It's beautiful. Some people use it for wayfinding. Some people use it for like
got it. Yeah. Which is very
colleges and
yeah.
colleges and universities. They put, say it's the basketball stadium, they put whatever there, or if it's a healthcare clinic, often they'll put something relaxing, on the walls.
And in the center picture in the back, that's Elizabeth in the back there. Just want to point that out for you, Elizabeth.
Well, sit with the hat on?
With her hat on.
Yeah.
Very nice. I just feel like these walls make the space look so custom. Maybe that's a lame word to use, but I mean, they're really striking.
Any co-working space can do anything they want on those walls and change it out. So that was the conversation you and I had initially, was talking about
refresh. Yeah, this is a great example. Right? Yeah.
Well, that's a perfect example. You could take those panels down and put something else up, and it costs very little.
Yeah.
It's minimal, and it makes the client or the co-working member look like, oh, wow, this space really is progressive, or they're really interested in what we're doing. And so it's a very easy alternative besides adding a pillow or whatever.
Yeah.
Those they're called skins.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, they're stunning. Yes, for anybody who's listening and can't see what we're looking at, you have to go to the YouTube channel. The link will be in the show notes. Because it's a pretty simple space. I mean, the walls. So, we are going to talk about refreshing the space, and I love that topic. But also this is all furniture, basically. So you only put up the one drywall, you probably refreshed the kitchen area, and then the rest of it is the wall system, which is furniture. Yeah. And it's days for the install.
Yeah, it was a few days.
That's it.
Yeah.
And we did
and no dust. Excuse me a second. No dust, which is so important because the kids are sick, right? He didn't want any dust. These kids come in and some of them, as you know, are very, very ill.
Yeah.
So in Colorado.
Yeah, we did 42 offices in 11 days. No punch list. It was incredible.
42 offices in 11 days. Boom, done. Let's sell them. Let's get those maybe cash flowing. Yep.
Yeah, that's Village Workspace.
Yeah. I know. I should have Gina on again and do a little case study on her space.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
She's got really cool space.
She loves what we did. So we're thrilled. Yeah.
Are those L-shaped sit-stand desks?
Yes.
Wow.
You gotta have them.
You really need that. People really want to work that way.
Right. They want the whole thing to go up.
Yeah.
They have monitor arms on there now, so that
that's a pretty bougie desk, though. How many square feet is that office? Do you know?
Oh, it's minute.
Yeah. I mean, it's a chair and a file.
Yeah.
Box.
We
file
just
and
back. Do you do L shapes in your co-working space offices?
Oh, yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
Or 2 desks in each office.
That's the new thing.
Yeah, that's what
we have a lot that don't have that. Like here, it's just regular desks. But anytime we change something out,
you do the L's. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Huh. And I guess because it's so narrow, it doesn't require a bigger footprint. Like you're not wasting square footage because
you're not. And that turnaround or L or return as we call it, it doesn't have to be 24. It could be 18.
It could be 18. Okay.
Elizabeth, how big are those desks right there?
Off the top of my head, I have no idea. I just know I just know the depths of them right now. So it's been like a year.
Been a while.
Yeah. More than a year even. Also to note, these right here are marker boards too. So
I love it. You mean the glass or
the white
panel, the white panel? Okay, that would be my dream come true.
Yep.
And it's just a panel. You don't have to mount it. I totally.
Yeah.
I need you to do my home office. Actually,
there you go.
Yeah, but it's so
So this
functional. I
was just
love
one
that.
example of this was the Make-A-Wish example. And then we can go to
Yeah.
the next slide. This is the space upstairs, which started out all red, and it was awful. And our colors for Saratoga CoWorks are gray and like pumpkin orange or burnt orange.
We're in your season.
We were the client. This is our co-working space. So we were very picky because this is what we wanted to show clients and attract co-working members. So fortunately, we worked well together. There weren't too many hiccups. So if you want to go through that, Elizabeth, for everyone to see.
See, the reason why there's no hiccups is because Dorothy and Elizabeth design it, and then I have to deal with all that.
You just you just make it happen.
Yeah, I make it happen.
Yep.
So once again, here we go. This is our conference room here, which we love because we chose different seating. Do you see how that is we have these chairs that are not your typical conference room chairs. Yeah. They're fully upholstered, which makes the sound, it attracts sound, right? Yeah. So it encapsulates it. Yeah. We also warmed it up with a very narrow, that table is extremely narrow by design. And people take this meeting room all the time. We couldn't even get there today because it was reserved.
Right.
Wow.
And also, we have a big TV and.
Oh yeah, where that photo is, we have a large television there now.
And why did you go with the narrow table?
Well, two reasons. One, meetings, typically people come with laptops, right? Yeah. So there's not a lot of stuff for the table, right? They don't need much. I didn't want to have any power. They can get power underneath or behind them. Aesthetically, I like the way it looks.
Yeah, and you don't want power in the table.
No, I like to design around beauty as well as functionality. Yeah. There's other ways to get power. Typically, people bring their laptop. They don't need to plug in. The meeting is not going to be more than an hour. So
sometimes it is.
Sometimes it
is,
but
they are.
Sometimes they are. And right there, it works. Everyone sits close together. They get their meeting done and they move on,
Yep. Love it.
Added some greenery.
Ooh, I like that a lot. This is like your hallways are a little wide, but
they're wide.
Yeah, which is less efficient if you're trying to optimize monetizable space.
But it keeps it quiet, Jamie, because you're not hearing everyone, right? So those offices on the left, the glass offices, we opaqued. We put lines across them since those photos. And then on the right, those are drywall.
There's drywall.
And, it's wide, but let me tell you, people have no problem in this space with sound.
Yep. And then, it's a good way to sneak in. If you do have wide hallways, which some people do, I mean, this is a pre-existing space.
Yes.
It's a great way to add in functional soft seating because you've got the laptop tables and the plant. I love those plant stands. That's really, I mean,
and just a secret, don't do live plants because it doesn't work. Those are fake.
Okay. Well, they look fabulous. Yeah. But it also gives a sense of privacy. It's like these little nook seating areas where you've got like the little laptop. And I like how, I feel like I could sit there with my laptop, no problem. Like
you can. And and again, since we're talking about refreshing spaces, that's nothing. I mean, you put a couple chairs together, you pull a couple tables that pull up, a couple plant stands. It's not much. And your clients love it.
Yeah. It's accessories and it makes the space look so much more finished. And
it does.
Styled. Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I feel. Go ahead, Dan.
As the space grows, some of the space, like where you see those tables, that's going to be pulled out, and we're going to be putting some pods in. They're going to be just for meetings, 2 to 4 people.
You're going to add meeting pods.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that can fall under our refresh category as well. So
yes.
Okay. What's making you decide to do that? What's driving that?
Because people want to have small meetings together.
Yeah. They don't need the big boardroom.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
Or it's just a private call. They can either go outside and do that, but some people like to sit in a space. And when you look at the telephone booth that's out there these days, it's just too small. And even when somebody's just taking a call, one person, they'd rather be sitting at a table, a sit to stand, whatever, just sitting there doing their call. And it's completely silent.
Yeah. And
So
those are
you're
meetings
building
people.
those, you're doing those with the Falk built walls as well?
Yes.
What are the dimensions?
Oh,
Whatever you want.
anything you want. That's what's so nice about them.
Yeah, we build it to suit.
Yeah. So you can make it kind of a comfier one person phone room. If you make it a two person, like a little huddle room.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a great example of you're adding that on because so you could wait because of cash flow, like your Make-A-Wish example. Like, okay, you know what? You don't have to do it all at once. Let's wait until you have that demand or you have the cash flow. Swap out the lounge furniture, put in the pots, swap out half of it, put in a couple pots. It's really flexible. And you can just do it all like quickly. Yeah.
And we're finding that, so if you can see in the back of that photo on the right, that's that conference room. And we're finding that not a lot of folks sit at those two little 4 top tables. So if that's the case, perfect. We'll just put in those pods right there.
And
perfect.
you could do a custom panel on the outside to keep the color. So, because I know co-working spaces love like this clean, just like this photo we're looking at, like this clean, white, neutral, but adding design elements is what keeps it interesting, I think, right? It's better than home. So, I mean, thinking about, back to the refresh topic, I mean, Dan, you said now you're swapping out whatever your, desk size used to be and you're putting in the ones with the return just because you feel like that's the bar, like that's how people want to work and you want to provide that. And maybe they've got the 2 screens and they just need the space for that and a sit stand.
Right.
Yeah.
In addition, co-working is competing with what you have at home. So it's got to be better.
Yeah.
Right. You got to bring people in. Right. And when we do offices now, refreshing offices, we have to make it better than what they had before COVID because a lot of people don't want to come back to the office because it's better at home. Whether or not that's the case, we just have to refresh, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, and it may not be the case in every market. If you've got, if you're in Manhattan and nobody has a home office, slightly lower bar, right? But I hear you. I mean, in a market like Saratoga Springs, people have nice home offices but they want to come in because they want that separation or they want community or they want the professionalism. But to your point, they bougied up their home office over COVID. And so yours has to be at least as good, if not better. So I think that is an important refresh. And you can't, it's probably a little bit more on the margin, right? To add the desk with the L, a little. And even the screens these days are, I like, having screens on the tables, on the desks for people to use, but it's worth it, right? They'll sell faster.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to a bunch of these conferences and, the GWA, and I heard some guy say, well, furniture's a commodity. And I go, okay, if you say that, that means your space is a commodity. And you can't look at it that way. You have to really spend a ton of money on the furniture because if you do it right, you can get really good furniture, awesome looking furniture for the right price. But it's got to look awesome.
And you have to plan your plan. And that's
be incredibly functional.
Right. That's where Elizabeth and I come in and we plan it so that it doesn't look like the owner bought something from this place and something from that place and this place, and then try to put it together and it looks like a garage sale. It looks horrible. Yeah. You can't do that. You have to plan your plan. And Elizabeth lays it out dimension wise. And then we review, and we plan again. That's how you design. You have to plan properly.
Okay. And what is this little room to the side here? Oh, the 4 tops. You said people don't use those very much. Is that
not so much. We're finding that, at least for us in this space, not so much.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's
All right. What else do we have?
So you know what? I don't know why my brain was like completely blocking that out when Dan was mentioning them. I like that room though. because that could be a nice little offsite room, or so for some markets that could be a great product.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but you're finding it's
Absolutely.
not. Can you talk a little bit about the mindset? I think maybe because you're in the, or you have in furniture and design business, like it's maybe more comfortable for you to be like, okay, that didn't work, let's put something else in. Whereas I feel like a lot of space owners it's like they're very attached and they will wait a very long time to swap something out that doesn't work. Because it is hard to know, right? You're kind of taking an educated guess on your market when you're starting, and you have to see, like, what do people use? Like, I look at that and think, oh, that's probably kind of a good guess. Like, I would think, but you're saying like, well, it doesn't get utilized as much as we think, so we're going to put some meeting pods in there. Can you just talk about like the mindset around that and how you guys think about that?
Yeah.
So what happened with that area was we put those tables in because we just done all these walls. It's a financial thing as well. And we said, okay, put these tables in. Let's see if that works. And the reason it didn't work is because right down below is one of the best delis in Saratoga Springs. It's called Fat Polly's. It's unbelievable, delicious food. And they had all these tables down there. So people go down, they get their sandwiches or whatever. They sit down there and they have their meetings down there or whatever. And then they come back upstairs and go back to work. So that space gets underutilized because of
there's just not a good use case for it. So people aren't booking it out to do whatever little offsites or.
So that's
so
conference room.
So the conference room is back there. That's packed all the time. But the two little four tops, that's like in an open hallway.
Oh, it's open. Okay.
Yeah, it's completely open. And
where I just looked at it, looked like an office.
It does look like an office.
Look like kind of an office. Yeah.
It's completely open.
Yeah.
And also, I think people don't use it not only because there's a place downstairs where they go to eat their lunch sometimes, but there's a conference room right next door.
Yep.
So,
if you're going to have a little meeting, you're going to go do that in an enclosed room, or you're going to sit in the really comfy ones in the hallway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
you're like, okay, people aren't using it. Let's make this more doable.
It's almost like the clothing analogy. If it doesn't look good on you and you haven't worn it, then get rid of it. Yep. So if nobody's sitting there or using it and it's not making any money,
right,
get rid of it.
Yeah. I feel like people get stuck in the sunk cost fallacy. Well, I spent money on that furniture, I'm going to keep leaving it there.
Right.
Yeah.
And we get stuck in that same thing. We're like, well, we can't do it just yet, but I'm not making any money on it.
Exactly.
But Jamie,
so what's the point?
I could bring those into the seating area where we have the kitchen, and those would be perfect in there. So,
so think about how can you reorganize, right? Where else could you, repurpose. Yeah.
And you can also ask your co-working members, would you like to have a small table with 2 chairs in your office?
There you go.
And some people like that.
Right. And another refresh opportunity. Like, how can you make an existing office that somebody has even better?
Exactly. And people think, oh my gosh, they just gave me this and, this is awesome. And you got to realize that you're almost in hospitality industry, right? So you want to constantly ask, is there anything I can do? How's everything working out here?
Yep.
People like to hear that.
They do. They love it. And even an offer, if they're not going to take it, they think, oh, that was so nice of them to ask and offer that to me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah.
So we have some other slides too.
Okay, go ahead. Yes, let's move on.
Yeah. So that's where we could easily put that 4 tops. We could put a table in there. That's our kitchenette, which is great. We have people that work at the bar right there. Interestingly enough, they just want to get out of their office and just sit there, which totally fine.
Yep.
Totally fine.
Okay. The kitchen is also Falk built, right?
It is.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, this just fascinates me. All the paneling. Yeah.
Recycled plastic bottles, Jamie.
Wow. Yeah.
So for those folks that want something sustainable, that's it right there. That's all custom made, bulk built millwork. You can do any color, anything. I could make it look like marble. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's easy.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and the countertop seating. Okay, so I do have a specific question about high seating. How often do you do it? I feel like this is one of those things. Sometimes I like it if I'm going to like a coffee shop because the coffee shop doesn't have a sit-stand desk for me. And I cannot sit. Dan could probably appreciate this. There's something wrong with my hamstrings. I cannot sit more than an hour. Forget it.
Right.
I have to get that addressed. But so I need to be able to stand. So I like the counter height. But I see people do a lot of like high seating. Some like, how do you guys think about the end user, and do you have a sense of like, will people like it for casual spaces like this, but they wouldn't want to sit at a counter height desk all day? What any
Yeah, they
on that?
want to sit at a counter height desk all day.
No way. It's
Yeah.
not
They
comfortable.
just don't like. So at Broadway, we have bar height tables, in front of windows and things like that.
Yeah.
And people
Stand there with their laptop like you do.
Yeah.
but that's not their only space.
No,
They
then they
have-
sit down.
They have their private office. They
Yeah.
can exit
Yeah.
private
It's like an
offices.
occasional space. It's not like
Yes.
somebody has a co-working membership and that's going to be their seat all day because
No,
they
never.
want to do that.
No,
Yeah.
never.
Yeah.
Now, those chairs, it's hard to see, but for women, it's very important that you have a space to put your feet so they don't dangle.
Yes, no dangling.
So
That's
that's what those
yeah.
chairs are super cool, those bar
Yep.
stools. And it's important to have a back that is a little bit flexible.
Oh, yeah.
And and it's deep. So a guy can sit in that seat and also be very comfortable.
I know these are really important details. Like
Oh,
they
super
really
important.
matter. Yes,
Yeah.
I just was doing a website audit for somebody and they had a photo on their website of one of those like metal stools that are like a space stool that's really popular. And I know people do them because they look sort of trendy. And I was like, nobody wants to sit on that. Take them out of the photos.
No.
Yeah.
No, and in addition, see those chairs, we chose those chairs specifically because I can take a microfiber and just wipe all the crumbs off the back. Boom.
Right.
They
Because it's
don't
in the
get
kitchen.
stuck.
Perfect.
It's clean, it's slick, it's black, it's awesome.
Yeah. We just did upholstered counter chairs in our new kitchen and I'm just waiting for someone. I'm like total like crazy person about stains and spills and
Spray it.
my full X is like,
Yeah, just
ready.
spray it to protect it. You'll be fine.
oh, put another spray coating over it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
you'll be good. You'll be fine.
Okay, I know. But yes, these are but all those little details, like where do you put your feet and it has to have a back and the slight bend is so important. And I also, even in photos, these are gorgeous photos. And I think it's really important because people, I think they know, right? When they look at something, even if they are not intentionally or explicitly thinking through the details we're talking about, I think they just have this intuitive sense, like that's comfortable. I could, that's a space I want to sit in or meet in or work in or not.
Yes. All the yes. And back to your example of that trendy stool, it's almost like sitting on a milk can. It's the same concept. You can't sit on that.
New York reference. We'll take it.
There you go.
Totally. Yes, that's a great. Okay.
All right, Elizabeth, let's go to the next one. Okay, so this is just really what we do. We at DRB Business Interiors, we do everything from design, construction, we do corporate work, healthcare work, education work, and of course, hospitality and co-working. So if there's any questions that your clients have, Jamie, feel free to reach out to us anytime.
Yeah, you get really into there's a lot of fun in designing a space, and then there's a lot of little details that you really need a professional team to help with.
Yes.
Yeah. We were, this is a minor thing, but yesterday one of our members, our startup school members, messaged and was like, okay, do I need to do my office signs need to be in Braille? He was looking at, ADA requirements. And so, because like, I wonder if you guys, do you deal with signage in like your healthcare settings? Yeah. Permanent. So I'd never seen this before. I was like, oh, this is probably something I should be aware of. But,
I honestly don't know that answer.
So for the conclusion we came to was that for co-working, if they're not permanent, you don't have to do it, but you should do it on restrooms and meeting rooms.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not a local requirement, but for Colorado, yes. Although, anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
That's good to know. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
great. Yeah, so we have just found that the co-working spaces and the offices that are out there that are up to date rent quickly.
Right. Exactly. I think that's exactly right. And I spend a lot of time thinking about this. You spend a lot of time thinking about this. And I think that's not an easy connection. Maybe, it's like you have to really think through, because there's always the trade-off on either you don't know and you're not, you don't use a professional to help think through these decisions, like people who just order their own, furniture or pick their own furniture. To your point, it's kind of a hodgepodge. But
yeah, and there's a lot of co-working spaces that do that, Jamie. They
Yeah.
just offer the room and tell the client you can bring your own stuff in. Okay, so
Yeah.
can you imagine you
I
as a
know.
potential client seeing all mishmash in every office as you walk by? It's almost like walking by someone's storage unit and you see this in one and then this in
Right.
another and this in another. In our
I know.
experience, keep it simple
Yeah.
and be consistent, right? So it's your brand, right? So if you're spending all this money to lease this space or build this space out, it should be consistent to your brand, right? So if you're going to do, I don't know, red and blue, everything should coordinate with red and blue throughout your space, including inside your offices. Now, people make them, they customize their
Personalize
inside
them.
space.
Yeah.
They do
Yep.
personalize them. Yeah, we tell people, we'll give you a light, we'll give you sit to stand, we'll even give you a credenza or a coat closet. You tell us what you want. And then beyond that, we'll even give you a sign on the outside of your door. And besides
Mhm.
that, you're on your own. Oh, we give them a chair too. So
Yes.
yeah. And you know what? It keeps it simple so that they can just sign the lease right there and move in that afternoon.
Yeah. Well, this has been a great conversation so far. Any other here? I'm going to pull your share off so I can see you more clearly. Wait, can Elizabeth stop sharing?
Yeah, Elizabeth, can you stop sharing? There we go. Perfect.
Okay, there we go. Now you're back. Yeah. Any other refresh thoughts, like simple things like, I don't know, like lounge furniture? I would have to think there's something about sort of entryway refresh that is maybe
Here's a really good idea.
impactful.
Every co-working space that I've ever been a part of is always thinking about sound.
Yeah.
We just did an office here in Saratoga, and we used a acoustic wall panel, not from Falk Built. It's, we got.
Smith, can you pull that up and show them what we did?
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Okay, good.
But
I love the visuals.
It was very easy to install for our guys, and it was just beautiful. Came out absolutely beautiful, and added to the conference room, added to the reception area, and to their meeting room.
Small meeting room.
Yeah.
And it helps with sound.
Yep.
And, I chose a dark walnut, and their logo colors were light blue. So against a walnut background was beautiful. It just made their signage pop.
Yep.
Elizabeth's probably looking for her examples. Trying to find.
We'll give her a
Trying to
second.
find a frame.
So the panels help with sound. They absorb sound.
Mhm.
They don't create sound privacy.
No, it's an NRC rating you're working with.
Yep.
So it's basically taking the space that's 0.2, 0.3 and bringing it up to like a 0.6.
Okay.
Which allows you're still hearing the person talking in the background.
Yep.
In a separate conversation from your own, but you can't understand what they're talking.
Yeah, it's more
not
muffled.
affecting your conversation.
Yep.
And that's kind of a good spot to be.
Yeah. Right. Especially so people could add those to open spaces, like more maybe dedicated desk.
But you could put it anywhere. You could do it in the kitchen. That's a lot of where the sound comes from is the kitchenette. And if you could put that on the walls, that would really, really help absorb. And you want to absorb the sound.
Yeah.
I think Elizabeth can't find it, right?
And we're building a concept.
I found it.
There it is.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful, right? So between those
yeah.
between those two lights, beautiful.
Oh,
There's the
wow.
entrance. So we did this for an office that was a 1983 rendition of gold, green, and red.
Okay.
And it had a chair rail around it, and it was horrible looking. So
if you go out the hallway, that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's right on the.
So this is the client was Boucher Financial. They asked us to just completely use our own design, and that's what we did. There's the reception desk. There's the wall in the background. To the left is another reception area, and of course, being a financial services company, sound was very important. So those panels absorb so much, as well as the carpet.
So they just are an add-on to the wall.
Sorry?
Like you just add them to the wall.
Yes.
Oh, it's a panel.
Oh, interesting.
Cool.
Okay.
We kept his chandelier and his fabulous table. Like it was amazing. And then we tricked it out with a contemporary chaise lounge in the corner there.
Yep.
A plant. And then we put that same paneling system in the back.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
And it just absorbs so much.
Yeah.
That space overlooks Broadway. It's absolutely beautiful.
Really nice. Yeah. I love the chase in this. I mean, it just makes it look really high end. So does the paneling. Yeah. I mean, it's a great way to sort of make the room look more finished and designed.
Yeah. And we work together really well with people. You know why? Because we communicate effectively. And we'll say, do you like this or this? It's like the eye doctor. Do you like this or this or that? Or is this one better than that one? And, we don't give people a lot of options because we have really good taste. We know what we're doing, but we do give people choices.
But too many choices is hard for people, right? Because
too many is too, right.
Yeah. Yep.
You share that with us. It's just overwhelming.
The paradox of choice. Totally. Yep. People get stuck.
So this turned out.
The Cheesecake Factory menu is too big.
So this turned out really, really well. And we did this in a couple months, 3 months, 4 months.
A couple months.
It wasn't bad.
Then we knocked this out. Fun little project.
That's a great way to update because you could use any sort of colors for it. Yeah, that's really nice.
Oh,
and it's not construction. It's just like adding to what's there. Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw the dimension, but it's like they call it like dental, like it's like this, right? And it absorbs the sound. It's not just flat. So the sound comes in and is caught.
Yeah. Wait, how do you feel about that in like a podcast room?
That's a good thing to do.
I know, because I was talking to somebody the other day. I was like, the trick with the podcast rooms is you want them to be pretty soundproof. But I don't want, like, everybody does video, like we're doing video now, right? So the room has to be attractive. So I was like, please don't put those, like, knobby gray, you know what I mean? Like the foamy panels you can buy on Amazon.
Yeah, don't do that.
I don't want that in my background. Yeah.
And you don't want lighting coming down on you, right? You need lighting coming forwards. So you look good, right? Like right now, I have it, of course, coming down on me, but you
still
have
look
it
great,
right,
Dorothy.
Jamie.
Yeah. I know I have my ring light on.
So no, that would be a great option for a podcast room. And you can do that relatively fast.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. I love that. Yeah. Okay. Any other ideas or thoughts or case studies you want to share before we wrap up?
No, just refreshing is very important. I think if you want to keep your clients and you don't want them to go to another space, you really do have to put some thought into what your clients are looking for.
Yeah, totally.
And you're really not going to get that unless you ask. Is there anything else you might like here? I mean, even down to the granola bars, for Pete's sake. I mean, people want to know that they are being considered.
Yeah, that's a good point. I have, I'm very particular about my granola bars. Too funny.
No, this has been great. We admire what you do so much. And you're definitely a forward thinker and you have to be. And that's where we feel like we're very progressive in what we do because we know how people work and we know how people don't work well, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put it. Well, thank you for sharing because I learned from you guys. So it's been great to see your space. And Dorothy's in our secret operator mastermind. So we get to hang out with Dorothy. We have a call this Thursday, actually. So Yeah, love
That's
it.
right.
And Elizabeth, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you so much.
Elizabeth did all those drawings.
Yeah, Elizabeth did all those drawings.
Very talented.
And she's an upstate girl too.
I know. Love it. Very good. Great. All right. Thanks, you guys. Until next time.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much, Jamie.